And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the blue Terran, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is INexorable. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the Brazilian Zerg player, the red Zerg, representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Erik. He's one of los patos, papi. Let's go. Again, for those that are maybe a little bit newer to watching the CranKy Ducklings, you may not be aware, but we did have a pro team for a number of years. We had a Latin American roster, we had an American roster as well. We had players like Erik, we had Ryu, we had Neo as well. When it comes to our LATAM roster, I should say, we had the Australian roster with Oreo and Starduck, and we also had the American roster a little bit later on with Vindicta, with Patty Mac, and with Dolan as well. So we used to have a pro team basically a couple of years ago, like 2020, 2021, 2022. We used to be the official B stream for the ESL Pro Tour, and as a result, we'd actually get paid for that. We'd get paid for that, and we wanted to reinvest the earnings that we were gaining from casting EPT in another way. And we could do one of two things. We could have either hosted more tournaments or funded a pro team and paid for salaries. So that's kind of what we went for. So basically, all the money that we made from casting, we decided to reinvest into basically salarying players and having our pro roster, and yeah, that's when we could actually, you know, afford players and a deeper roster specifically. Of course, over time that kind of waned, and you know, we no longer were the B stream and the casters for EPT. I think like Steadfast and Beomorph kind of took over that. So yeah, we do make significantly less than we used to, and as a result, our pro team did for the most part disband. We still technically have Erik, for example, but Erik, he's, you know, on the team just to be there, like as in if he's able to find other opportunities elsewhere, then we're more than happy to have him join another team and get those opportunities. Same with Dolan, for example. Dolan was still in the CranKy Ducklings for a long time, but recently did join Detonate, of course, getting a better deal there, which we're more than happy to let them find those opportunities. More than happy to. And we still got a lot of love for our old players as well, like Vindicta, like Dolan, Oreo, Starduck, like much love. Neo as well. Neo. All of them. All the ex-Ducklings. But now though, we're settling in. We do have enough reminiscing about the past. We have a Roach Rush. Let's go. Once again, we have the same opener here, going for the single queen into hatchery. This feels really risky, I'll be honest, in this matchup. It feels really risky to rely on only one queen. I mean, the Roach Rush is going to make up for that 100%, but if it wasn't for that, which actually might be the reason why there is a Roach Rush alongside this, because it is so unsafe without it. Reaper gets denied, Roaches are waddling across the map. And INexorable back at home, he at least scattered, he at least is aware, and he's throwing down bunkers. Bunkers are on the way. Getting his way 1-1-1, a faster starport, which means faster Banshee production. This is going to be ideal for INexorable. And bearing in mind, Erik, he's not all in. He did rush into Roaches, that is all true, but he's droning. He's droning up behind this, he's macroing. He only invested into three Roaches, that's all he has. He's hoping to force an overreaction. Hellions, they just rush past. Ooh, they will break through. They bust into the middle line. Drone's going to be going down, and Erik, he's exposed, and this is what I was worried about. Again, there's only one queen to defend. Only one queen. 10 drones going down. Brutal damage. Erik, the pressure is on, but lasses a bunker across the map, and Banshees are on the way. Oof. Getting up to 11 drones, and we're still not done. The Hellions, they still rally into the natural, and this is becoming game-ending damage. Oof. Yeah, 15 drone kills. 16? Oh, no. There we go, 16 drones going down. Roaches, they try to break into the main. A couple of SCs getting picked up. This is some okay damage out of Erik, but it pales in comparison to what's happening across the map. As that was 18 drone kills. Ay, ay, ay. Erik, he plummets in the worker count. And INexorable from here, he can embrace his Banshees. They defend, now it's time to attack. And remember, the queen count is low. The queen count is very low, intentionally so because of the build, but that means there's less anti-air to deal with a Banshee. So honestly, this is just a really good response here by INexorable. I don't know if he's familiar with Erik's builds, but in general, playing against Erik and going 1-1-1 makes plenty of sense. Like, Erik, he's known for roach rushes in this matchup. Even if he hadn't skipped his queens, like going for early roaches and early aggression is his MO. It's what he's known for. It's what he does best. And INexorable with almost a hard counter. Now going for his third TC. Stim is now starting up. We're getting another 2 drone kills. Another 2 drones going down. Alright, Quest Banshee on the right hand side, going for the queen. No transfuse. No transfuse here for Erik. Losing a queen. Does a trade with the Banshee. That's not too bad here. But Erik is still behind. Erik is still in a rough place. Getting another drone. Up! Oh my god. As the Banshee gets out. Banshee gets away. From here, INexorable just building up his bio army, working towards stim, working towards combat shields. We have a 3-1-1 setup here, third base soon to be taken, and INexorable's looking just very comfortable in this position. The pressure's on Erik to bounce back. There are ways in doing so, whether it comes to Ling run-bys, roach counterattacks, all-ins as well. If INexorable's too greedy, if he cuts corners, if he's caught unsieged, if he's caught out in the open, then maybe Erik can catch him off guard. But really, Erik, he's hoping for INexorable to make mistakes. To make mistakes, that is what he's hopeful for, and it could happen. But again, that's what the hope is, at least. Or added to that, to try to force mistakes and try to create these opportunities for yourself where your opponent does slip up. For now, 1-1 upgrades. 1-1 upgrades on the way. Erik, he's still droning, still taking gases. INexorable moving out. Going for his double drop. Oh. So let's poke in. Set by Erik, keeping up with the Marines, keeping up with the drop play. Not bad. Doesn't take any major losses. Erik, he's gotten up to 3 base saturation, and this is where I expect Erik to get a 4th base just for lava and to just max out on roaches. Because of the economic damage done early on, I don't expect Erik to macro from here into like hive, into like hydras or lurkers. I can maybe see infestation bit for infestors. Meanwhile, roaches, they do get into the mineral line. Not bad. They got 3 SCVs. Oh, but they cannot take this fight. Trading with the Marines, but alas, it's going to be a better trade for INexorable. Up, does come in from behind though, getting the tank. Yeah, tank goes down, massive pickup. Erik getting some damage done here. Boys are being pulled, more SCVs going down at the same time. INexorable, he does dive in. And he picks up the roaches. Roaches go down, mineral line is exposed. Again, the roach count is just not high enough, not back at home. Erik, he gets the, he runs out of steam. INexorable, he defends back at home, he attacks. We'll lose 12 SCVs, but still with a greater economy or an equivalent economy. He has mules. The mules, they make up for the dead SCVs. To make up for it. Oh. Erik forced to pick up. Forced to pick up. INexorable pulling away. Erik's still stuck on 3 bases, still amassing more roaches. We have Ling speed on the way. Let's go. +2 range. And this tells us that most likely we're going to be going for a roach Ling all-in with Lings to reinforce. Just rally across the map. Now, INexorable, his tank count was reset earlier, and his tank count is still quite low. So there's a world here where Erik can get us around and try to collapse in the army. Oh, not like this though. Let's force out a stim. But Erik has to pull away. Does have to pull back. Diving the main army, starts stepping forward, going for the marauders. But he's going to take a lot of hits, a lot of losses. Does target down every single marauder though. One marauder left. Very, very interesting engage there from Erik. I mean, fighting better than I thought he would. Not bad. Despite that, yeah, he has to pull the boys. No. Does have to pull the boys. Takes down the tank. Bleeding out 8 workers. Once again, does target fire every single marauder. Very meticulous micro here from Erik. But despite that, INexorable still has a terrifying army. Going for the Dream Drop. Dives into the main. Let's dive in. Going for the gas geysers. And at last, it looks like Erik is going to be able to hold on at the same time. Another drop coming in from the right-hand side. Leading out another gas geyser. Erik does manage to trickle in. He's holding. Erik is holding onto his third. He's holding onto his main. At least trying to. Roach Ravager, not the most mobile army. Now the Marauder count is getting too high. Yeah, the Marauders this time they will win the fight. They will take it. Ooh. Take some bounce to the face. INexorable moving in. Does move in. Zelda coming towards that natural. Picking off a queen. Does get a queen, and Erik, he just sends everything across the map. Ah, there are reinforcements. And INexorable, he's back at home as well. He's at home, he's in the main. He's out on the map as well. Cashing out Erik's army. And again, I was really impressed with Erik's engagements overall. Like, trading better than he otherwise should have. But despite that, he's being outscaled. Like, he's stuck on a 3-waste economy. There is no 4th. Scan reveals that. INexorable making sure that there is no hidden expansion. That there is no economy. And soon, he can stem. He can stem. He can try to win here. Ling reinforces though. Gonna be able to hold on. Erik up. He's holding. Takes out 2 medevacs. Medevacs go down. The tank putting in a lot of damage to the back line. Files will bring it down. Despite that, INexorable, he breaks through the roaches. Takes down the queen. What little's left. Oh! Files do connect. Despite that, there's just no army. GG gets called, and INexorable, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. INexorable, he will take lead in the series. But I'm impressed here that despite Erik, despite the fact he lost, what was it, like 18 drones, he lost so many workers at the start of the game due to Hellion harass and Hellion run-bys, he actually still made a game out of that. I mean, he had no real chances to like macro out of it and get into a 4th base and get into a hive or anything like that, but he was able to hold his own for quite some time, take some much more impressive fights as well when it came to focusing down those marauders. Traded as best he could for as long as he could, but eventually was overwhelmed. Again, he just had lost too many workers at the start of the game to those Hellions. It was game-ending damage. Was game-ending, and now we're getting into game number 2. And I'm curious if Erik goes for the same build. Are we also going to be skipping Ling speed? Are we also going to go for an early Roach Warren? Very curious to see how he plays this out. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of ley lines, we have the Brazilian Terran player. The blue Terran leading the series 1-0. For the Platinum Heroes, it is INexorable. Inex. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player from the land of Brazil, representing the CranKy Ducklings. He's one of our own. He is Erik. We go. As my eyes are on Erik so far, going hatch first once again. Going for the earlier hatchery. Likewise, INexorable setting up here on the high ground. Standard openers so far. My eyes are going to be on Erik here. Okay, going for a hatch into Gas Geyser into Spawning Pool. Standard opener here out of Erik for the first time this series. For the first time this broadcast even. And again, as I mentioned, I'm not too fond of the idea of going for that, for delaying queens and going for the earlier hatchery. Specifically in this matchup, I can see it work. I mean, we saw it work quite well against Protoss, but it does feel like there are a lot of ways to abuse that here in ZVT, just because of how mobile Hellions are, how normal or standard they are as well, to mass up Hellions and to be aggressive. We'll see how Erik does mix it up. As there's that pool. Go. SCV Scout will confirm the hatchery timing and should also confirm the opener in the main. Who was Erik? He's going to be investing into 6 lings. SCV going to be 4 smack. 6 lings on the way for Erik. Big investment. We see why he's is Erik. He's still going for the roaches. Still going for the roaches in the main. Things they move out. Now to afford this roach warren, no third base. There's no third base for Erik. Bear that in mind. That's why he has the roaches instead. Likewise, dancing with that Reaper. And with earlier link speed, we should be setting up for an all-in, I would imagine. With roaches and links to reinforce. I say that Erik is making some drones, though. Is droning up. Is saturating. Roach Horn's now done. Erik getting supply block. He lost the overload across the map. Oof, yeah, brutal supply block. As the overlord should not have gone down. So Erik being a little bit too inattentive there. This will delay the roaches. Third base on the way. Once again, poking in. Rotates into the main. Lings, they get across the map. Link speed is done. SCVs are falling. Not bad. He gets 1, he gets 2, he gets 3, 4 SCV kills. Getting up to 5 towards the end. Reaper, I believe, got a full scout. INexorable checking his vision. Yes, he saw the Roach Warren. Bunker gets written, and immediately 2 bunkers on low ground. Behind this, third CC for Starport. Ooh, this time economic build here by INexorable. Delayed Banshee production. And Erik, he's moving out. Roaches, they get spotted. Nice kiting with the Hellions. But alas, once again, Erik only making a handful of roaches, and he's droning up behind this. He got 6? 5. 5 roaches in total for Erik. And he's droning. He's droning up. Erik getting 4 smack. And going for a 430 lair timing. Very early there. I say very early, just there first. Still lacking saturation here at the third. And I'm curious as to what this lair is going to be for. 2 gases in the main base, 2 gases at the natural. This looks like muter play. Does look like muters. But it's Erik, so I could technically this could be roach speed into the lever chamber into 1-1. True. In the mass roach. But I'm still leaning towards those muters. As INexorable's going to be 4 smack. Erik's still just happily droning. Does prioritize his gases. Show us what you got. As the lair is now done. And we have the money for Aspire. Do you have it? Oh! Okay, roach speed. Never mind. Okay, again, we can't rule it out. So we're going to Roach Speed. I was assuming double Evo Chamber and 1-1 upgrades if we're going this route, but no upgrades here to Erik. There is no setup here. INexorable getting his third. Landing on location. There's a double Evo Chamber. I feel like we could have gotten this a little bit sooner. Regardless, is on the way. And Erik is committing to Mass Roach. No mutas this time. Scan reveals the, of course, researching Roach Warren. Is where the research. And this should prompt INexorable to go into more tank production. So invest into more tanks. So far, he's only got the one. No tech lab on that factory. Focusing on bio production instead. Ooh, the drones line up. Oh my god, that was brutal. They line up just in time. That's going to be 6 drone kills. A very nice run by INexorable. Trading out 3 Hellions for 6 drones. Better trade for the Terran. Erik getting an eye on the main army. Does get an eye on it. And here comes INexorable. Alas, Erik, he is spotting the army with a changeling. He is aware. Baz will slow him down. INexorable sims in, goes to the base. Tank will siege. And there's just not many roaches here. Erik getting forced back. At the same time, Roach counterattack here across the map. You have Roaches at the 3rd. Getting SCV, but last the 4th base goes down. Massive pickup. The tank will fall. But INexorable, he can trade. He can and he will. Oof. How many roaches? 20 roaches. Ay, ay, ay. 20 roaches falling for as many marines. A much more efficient trade for the Terran. Getting better trades in the main base as well. Forced to pick up. Forced to pull out. So we're rotating over towards the low ground. Trading with the roaches. Getting to 2-2 upgrades. Oh! Oh my god. Spiles, they graze the medevacs. And back home, INexorable is building up. Getting into more tanks. 2-2. 4th CC is on the way. Looking secure. From the side of Erik, he's hurting. He's on a 3-base economy, even under 3-base economy. 3-base saturation. He's trying to get a 4th base. And he's desperately at a 4th, a 5th, maybe even double expanding. Trying to work towards Ling Main Roach Ravager. We have melee upgrades on the way. But Erik needs more time. And INexorable is already moving out. He's already pushing. Still staying on a low marauder count. Just now investing. Just now starting up. Catching up some roaches. 2, 3. Erik, he can't take this fight. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, a bit of miscontrol. 4 too early on. Without his reinforcements. Erik is in trouble. Wild they shut down the first tank. First tank goes down. Erik gets supply blocked. Leading out overlords. Being dragged into the other tank. Erik once again going for a Roach counterattack. Running into reinforcements. Plus a melee is denied. Denies +1, denies +2. Now the upgrades. Denies both upgrades. INexorable on siege in time. Lifts up, get the hell out of there. Nice moves here out of our Terran. Does pull out. Pulls out, getting 3-3. Taking gases. Triple tech lab for mass marauder production. Something that INexorable has been missing against Mass Roach Ravager. And the scan confirms that it's still going to be Ling Main Roach Ravager. There's still no lurkers or hydras or ultras or anything else. Not yet. Alright, INexorable trading well. Erik behind this, he's teching. Hive is halfway done. Going for a Nidus Worm. I mean, that would be a way to bounce back here, to harass, to get across the map, getting into the main. True. There are opportunities. But in a head-on fight, I have to favor the Terran here. The stream doesn't tell the full story. INexorable, he's up in supply, but likewise, Erik, he's actually inflated here with Roaches and Ravagers. Baitings, they roll in, these connections. On the Biles, they get a tank, they get one, they get two. Two, almost three tanks going down. At the same time, INexorable drops in towards the natural. Erik, he's keeping up. He's in position. But Erik's still trading out a lot of his army. And the Terran player just reinforces. He's going to keep pushing. Up. Oh, the Surrounder. Gets a tank. He's down the tank. Still just rallying in. Trades well against the Roaches on both sides. And Roaches, they just don't scale well into the mid-game. Nice Biles. Biles connect. But Roaches on their own, they can't really do much here. We'll force a pick up. So we're jumping in towards the natural, getting more drone kills. Behind this is up 20 workers. And going for the Bailey Nest. Up. With the help of that transfuse, it looks like it will barely survive. Just barely. Hey, the Nest does live. And INexorable is still not done. He's still just rallying, still just consolidating his army, moving out once again, this time with 3-3. Yeah, massive upgrade lead. Nidus into the main, but INexorable, he notices. Does notice in time. Will shut it down. Does not finish. The Brazilian Terran, he's stemming in. And this time he's got so many more Marauders. So many of them. He can tank the Banelings. The Banelings, they do nothing. Has INexorable from here against them. He can win. Does unload that Nidus Worm. Doing what he can to hold on. But the supply just isn't there. GG gets called, and INexorable, he will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the upper bracket finals. GG. GG, well played. A very solid play there out of INexorable. Game 1, we saw really safe play, going for the 1-1-1 before third TC. So really safe play, worked wonders for INexorable, as he was able to cripple the economy of Erik, to cripple the economy, just snowball out of control from there. Here in game 2, we had a little bit more of a back and forth. Once again, though, Erik, he did invest quite heavily into his Roaches, and his initial assault wasn't really worth it. Likewise, his 4th base was killed, if you remember, and that was the beginning of the end. Losing the 4th base was huge because it slowed down the economy, the production slowed down everything for Erik, and INexorable, he just was unrelenting. He never really backed off. He just made sure he could press his advantage and overwhelm Erik. GG. GG, well played. INexorable, he will advance on into the upper bracket finals. And the question becomes, does he have his opponent? He does have his opponent ready and waiting for him. The Brazilian Protoss, not Shakti, who we casted previously, getting knocked down to the lower brackets, but no, we have Master instead. Let's go.